Welcome to Conversations Live. For more than a decade, we've brought you the best in books, entertainment, celebrity interviews, and current events. When the movers and shakers of the world have something to say to you, they say it to us first. Now celebrating 17 years of broadcasting success, here's your host, Cyrus Webb.
And welcome back, everyone, to Conversations Live. I'm your host, Cyrus Webb. Glad you all could join us once again. But for our radio audience here in Mississippi at WYAD 94.1 FM and WYADonline.com, we're glad that you all could be with us. Also, just tuning in to our online friends around the world, thanks to iHeartRadio and Amazon Music Podcasts. We're glad you all could be with us as well. It's hard to believe, but it was 5 years ago that I had an opportunity to speak to Mr. Tito Jackson on this program. At the time, he was celebrating his single, Get It Baby. Now, as we're having today's conversation, he's just a day away from the release of his new album called Under Your Spell. You've probably been seeing about it a lot online. And the single that's been getting a lot of attention, including on the radio waves here in Mississippi, is Love One Another, featuring Stevie Wonder, Mississippi's own Bobby Rush, as well as Marlon Jackson. We're going to talk to Mr. Jackson not only about the new project, but also what it's been like for him to be able to share the stories behind the music. Mr. Jackson, thank you so much again for the time. I really appreciate it.
Thank you very much. Nice to talk to you again, Cyrus.
The pleasure is definitely all mine. So as I said, we are really excited here in Mississippi about this new project, especially the single Love One Another. You are our Artist of the Week this week. I'm Mr. Jackson here on WYAD, and we're glad to have Mississippi's own Bobby Rush featured on that single. I mean, what has it been like for you to see the way that people have been responding to Love One Another?
Well, it's been great to see the fan base and others enjoyed the song, and more so even the message in the song that I adore, because the message of the song is stronger than the song itself, and it's basically telling the world to walk together, trust each other, and love each other. So I think that's a very, very strong message for the world, especially in today's society.
Such a great thing. And I should say, too, for our radio audience, Mississippians should feel very proud about this entire album. We have two Mississippians actually on Under Your Spell with Tito Jackson. I mentioned Bobby Rush, but also Grady Champion, also a friend of this broadcast. What was that like for you? Because I mentioned you have your brother Marlon that's also on the project with you as well, Mr. Jackson. But what was it like for you to kind of bring these different artists together on this?
Well, you run across artists different times in your life, and you say to yourself, hey, let's do something together one day, but that one day never comes. So when you run across them again, you remind them that you're supposed to do something together. But as far as Love One Another and Bobby Rush, actually the song was written for only myself to sing the complete song. But after really paying attention to the song, it sounded so universal. I said others and other fan bases need to be a part of this, the celebrity, much stronger and longer reach. So Bobby Rush was invited when my older brother, who was supposed to sing the part when I decided it would be a multiple song, had broke his ankle in 2 spots and couldn't even get out of bed. He had to keep it elevated and that whole thing. So he couldn't put his leg down because of pain. So that's when I invited my friend Bobby Rush to take his part, and Kenny Neal as well, who starts off the second verse.
What an amazing thing. So, Mr. Jackson, let's go back, because as I said, it was hard to believe how time flies. It was 5 years ago. Had an opportunity to speak with you. I mean, with the single Get It Baby, such an infectious song, and people, really, I think, were excited about that song. What was that time like for you to reflect on? How, with this single, of course, the popularity of it, but to be able to share your voice with the world that way?
Well, Get It Baby was a fun project, because I had Big Daddy Kane on that song as well, and there was line dance also, and Alabama State University played it at their football games and that whole thing. And I enjoyed that, but my heart has always been on wanting to do a blues album, which is Under Your Spell. I felt that I was doing Tito Time album, which is the album that Get It Baby's on, that I was doing that basically from a fan base. and because I didn't want to just break into the blues thing. I think it would have been a little more difficult just to get fans' attention, because the Tito Time was the first album. Yeah. So then to do this blues album was just, a lot of fun. It was very difficult, and I had a lot of contributors on the album as far as Stevie Wonder and Bobby Rush and Kenny Mills especially, and my brother Marlon and Eddie Levert, B.B. King's daughter Corlette King, George Benson, you name it. I just felt it was a good time. Nobody was doing anything. Everyone was quarantined, so I felt it was a good time to basically record, get the music finished.
Yeah, I love that. So can you tell us a little bit then, Mr. Jackson, what was it about the blues? That's interesting to hear you talk about the Tito Time project versus this particular project, Under Your Spell. What was it about the blues that speaks to you?
Well, when I was very young, my father and mother played a lot of blues around the house, and my father was a guitarist, and so was his brother, Uncle Luther, and they used to get together on the weekend and just jam with each other. And I would sit there as a little boy and just really, I was amused and paid attention to what was going on with the fingering and all that. And my father used to say, when I go to work, don't you touch my guitar. Anyway, I was hard-headed and I touched it anyway. My mother would let me play with it and play it and tell me to put it back. Your dad would be home, so put the guitar back, or you're playing it. I put it back until I broke a string, and he found out, and he punished me. Gave me a spanking and put it in my lap after that. Said, "Show me what you know," and I surprised him by playing songs. And he looked at my mother and said, "This boy really is trying to play this thing, huh, Kate?" She said, "I told you, Joe, he's not playing with your guitar. He really likes it." And the music my uncle and father was playing, everything was blues. Even the Jackson 5 had blues in their sets. We used to do about 5 blues songs in our set at the High Chaparral Club in Chicago, Guys and Gals, and Peppermint Sounds, and so forth. So, blues has always been part of me, Jimmy Reed, Hideaway, and Johnny Taylor, and all those, Albert Collins, Albert King, I like them all.
Yeah. And now we're being able to enjoy that in this new project. I want to say for those who are just tuning in, you're listening to Conversations Live. Excited to welcome the one and only Tito Jackson back to Conversations Live. This conversation's been 5 years in the making. It was 5 years ago that Mr. Jackson was on with us with his single, Get It Baby. Now we're talking about his brand new project. Depending on how you all are listening to us on the radio dial, it's just coming out for you guys today. But for those who are joining us through iHeartRadio and Amazon Music Podcast, it is coming out officially on August the 6th. So you guys can be able to head over to your favorite online retailer and get it. Mr. Jackson, I have to say one of the things I've really enjoyed as part of the build-up for this project have been hearing you talk about the stories behind the music. You've been really using social media that way, especially on Facebook. What has that been like for you to be able to share with us kind of how these songs kind of came about?
I think that's a great, I enjoy writing and making music, and I have a great producer friend. We do music together and record together, and it's a great process. And believe me, we think of not only the song, we try to include the fans in our thoughts, what they like this or that or what have you. So it's a great thing, good feeling, and I like sharing that part of it.
You mentioned, of course, what we endured when it came to quarantining and sheltering in place, and definitely your friends and your fans found you online, especially through social media. Was that kind of part of your connection as well, to be able to stay connected with your fans through social media?
Oh, yeah, absolutely, because social media is the connection where you speak to millions of people at one time, instead of the individual. It's definitely a great tool for promotion and marketing of records.
So as we're kind of moving forward, I mean, you've been able to do. I mean, I saw the Ask Tito segment there, right? I mean, it has definitely been great to be able to see you kind of have that engagement. One thing, of course, that I notice a lot of artists are missing right now is that live performance. Is that something that you're looking forward to?
Oh, I'm looking forward to hit the road on this thing first of the year, and just have a fun doing it. I intend to have a show with Kenny Neal and Bobby Rush as well. So all three of the acts on that song love one another, can go on tour together.
Wow. Oh, that's something for us to look forward to. We're a lot of great music on this new project. Again, the new album by Tito Jackson is called Under Your Spell. Make sure you guys head over to your favorite online retailer to be able to get it for yourself. Of course, our partner here is Amazon Music, but you can get it through your favorite one as well. Again, depending on how you all are listening to us, it's officially out on August the 6th. So for those joining us on Amazon Music or on iHeartRadio, you guys have just a little while longer to wait. For those joining us on the radio dial here in Mississippi at WYAD 94.1 FM. It's available now for you guys to go ahead and be able to get for yourself. Last thing I want to ask you about, Mr. Jackson, and again, I appreciate this time, is as you kind of reflect on this journey, I mean, one of the things you and I talked about, I went back and listened to our first interview back in 2016, and one of the things you talked about, of course, that was you celebrating your very first solo project there with that single. Does it feel as exciting today for you as when you started in the industry?
Of course, it's exciting. Because an artist is always an artist. Even when you retire, you still got that melody of music going through your head and mind. And I've always said to myself, I want to portray some of the stars like Frank Sinatra and B.B. King and Sammy Davis and still Mick Jagger's out here doing his thing. So I want to do this until there's no song for me to sing. So it's very exciting, creating different songs, recording different songs. Even the interviews are very fun and exciting, speaking to people like you and your fans. So the whole industry is exciting. And I've always told people, for those who think the industry is very bad, if you're an artist in the industry, it's what you make out of it personally. You don't have to do the bad things that we hear that some celebrities do. You guide your own career and do what you think is right for you. As long as you have that mindset, you can do this.
I love that. I think that is great advice, and it's a great reminder for us too, that just because some choose a certain path does not mean that have to be the path for you. I'm so glad you shared that. Again, everyone, Mr. Tito Jackson has been our guest, and we definitely want you all to support the new project. Again, it's called Under Your Spell, and make sure you guys head over to his website as well. TitoJackson.com is where you all can stay connected with him, and he is all over social media. We're talking Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. You all can find him there. Mr. Jackson, it has been an honor again to have you back on our airways. Thank you so much for the time today. Really appreciate it.
I'd like to say thank you to all the millions of fans for their support.
I know they appreciate that, and we thank your audience for tuning in to another great segment of Conversations Live. Until next time, I'm your host, Cyrus Webb, saying as always, enjoy your day, enjoy your life, enjoy your world. Thank you all for choosing Conversations Live. Now let's go make today amazing. Take care.